welcome to my channel. My name is Nabila Melisha, and tonight I am here to do some alterations to this beautiful red dress. We're gonna get there. First though, I wanted to show you guys the beads that I got from Hobby Lobby. Guess what, you guys? Everything was 50% off. I had no idea. I was just going there just to buy some more beads for this beautiful wedding gown. And I saw 50%, so I said 50%. I gotta stack up, okay? So I got these. Oops, sorry. I love that it's somewhat focused. These are the same. And these are basically check glass beads by brand Beaded Treasures. No, actually, is it Beaded Treasures? It says Preciosa as well. And I know Bead Treasures is also a brand, but either way, that's what it looks like. It's normally $3.99 and I got it for half of the price, so I got two of it because I wasn't sure that one would really get the job done, you know. Then I got something that's very similar to those, but I do feel like these are a little bit more shinier than those. So these are shinier than these, but very, very similar. Very similar. And these might be a slight bit bigger than these as well, but definitely more shiny. And then we got these are just regular silver beads. I was thinking perhaps we can do some silver because, you know, the theme is silver anyway, so can we really go wrong with it? I don't know. Then I have this mixture of black, white, silver, graphite beads. And I got these because why not? It was 50% off anyway. Can you put some on the... Can I put my glasses to the end of my nose and read some comments like that? You're hella gorgeous. Thank you so much. Hi, Kelly Boss. And then these are white beads. Regular white. And hyacinths. So these are some white beads and they do have a little bit of sheen to them. And I was thinking the beads that I have that are white might be similar. However, I'm not sure. So I thought it's 50% off. Let me just get it, you know? Why not? Can you see my outfit? Okay, so I got this black top from maybe Zara or H&M. I don't know. What's the label says? Can we see that? I cannot tell what that is. Is that Zara or is that Old Navy? I don't know. One of them. I'm over here stretching my top for no reason. And then I got these joggers. These are Adidas. And I just got my belt with my tools in there and that's it. And then I got these blue Crocs that I always wear inside the house. You said you was gonna get food, but you're here on YouTube. I did actually get food. I went to Hobby Lobby first to get these beads. Then after Hobby Lobby, I went to Whole Foods and got me some groceries that I left in the bag. Nothing needs to be refrigerated, so I was like, let me go live. Then I'll put everything up where they need to be. And then after Hobby Lobby, I went to Chick-fil-A and I got me a large fry with barbecue sauce. Can never forget about the barbecue sauce, okay? That's my go-to. And then we got to Share Tea, which is like a boba tea spot near my house. And I got me some bubble tea, which is right there, waiting for me. So yes, I got me some food and a whole bunch of other stuff and then still came back to do YouTube live. um like the chat, people. That's what Andrew said. Thank you, Andrew. Yes, please, you guys. Please, can you do that? Somebody wanted me to do this and read the comments. Hi, baby. That's what Arthur says. It's good. You're Caribbean. Yes, Andrew, I am. Abby, thank you. I don't have no makeup on today. Yes, fries and barbecue sauce. Yes, Polynesian sauce is good, but barbecue is my favorite. Can we see your earrings? These are some hard earrings. It's like little tiny diamonds around this one big one. It was one of my friends. My friend, she owned it, and we were going out, and I was like, oh, I don't have no earrings, and she was like, here, take these, and I was like, thank you, and she was like, you can have them. So yeah, do you like pizza? And yes, I do like pizza. Favorite pizza is also a barbecue sauce. Yes, I am a stylist, but I'm also mainly a fashion designer, tailor, and seamstress. And so now we're gonna get into some alterations, guys. I bought these pants from Amazon, and they're heat erasable, which is so cool to me. This right here is the dress I'm going to work on. You know. Okay, guys, this right here is the dress, and it has some pleats on the side that causes it to ruche a little bit. Oop, my foot is stuck in this right here. I am 29. Okay, so it has some ruching, and then it has a slit, which the slit starts a little bit too high for my client, so we're going to bring it down some, as well as cut off this much from the dress. Let's see, I got my measuring tape, and that's a good about 10 inches that we're going to cut off, okay, you guys? So I'm going to set the beads down and take off this hanger. And then also, guys, I got this headband earlier. So the idea is, my client doesn't know this. I love to surprise her because I just love her. So once I cut off this fabric, I am actually going to put that on here. So that's a nice little addition that we have afterwards. Hi Dawn, how are you? Good evening. Let's see here. The way I folded my measuring tape. All right. So let's see how it's done. It's a really tiny fold, but I typically like to leave about an inch. On the fabric. That way, if the client ever says, hey, I want it a slight bit longer, then we still have, you know, somewhat of a space to kind of do that. Okay, so I'm gonna measure it again to do it like a double take. Because I thought it was 10 inches, but I'm gonna make sure that it really was 10 because the way I did it, you know, was rushed. Trying to make this lay flat. Okay, it's really 9 1/4. So I'm going to measure 8 1/4 and then we're going to cut that off. So I want to do a triple take, you know, run it because then we cannot make any mistakes. All right, 9 1/4. So I'm gonna measure 8 1/4 and that be the hem. And I'm thinking there's no lining in this dress, which I thought it did have a lining, but that's even more wonderful, right? I'm going to also pull in my what you call it, my light, so that it's a little bit brighter in my work area. All right. Again, I am measuring 8 1/4 and I'm making sure the fabric isn't too stretched because this is stretchy material. Because if it's too stretched, then we're getting inaccurate measurements. And then my heat erasable pen. And I'm just marking on this fabric. Some days it feels like working. Yesterday I used it for the very first time and I'm super excited about it. But today it's looking a little like it's doing what I want to do. And this is like being super precise. Eight and a quarter is where we're gonna cut off, and then once we cut that off, I'm going to measure 1 inch, and then from that 1 inch we'll basically have that as the fold line where it's going to be hemmed. So right now I'm marking the cut line, and after the cut line I'm marking the fold line. Since this fabric is so stretchy, I am being extra careful that it's not being overly stretched so that every measurement is really accurate. And I'm like, this ink is not coming out much at a time. And I'm like, come on. It's giving liquid chalk vibes. Except unlike chalk, you kind of erase it by heat. And chalk is only washable, and sometimes if you smidge it too much, then it comes off that way, like if you wipe over it too much. And the reason why I got these pens over chalk is because I feel like I can be a little bit more accurate with this. because sometimes chalk, the marks on chalk, or the sides on chalk rather, they kind of get so thick so that when you draw one line, now it's one big line, you know? Red glasses, what's up? Not much. How you doing? Corey, how are you? Yes, and since it's a pen, you know, the marks kind of stay. Sometimes when you use chalk, by the time it's sewing time, the marks have kind of faded, you know, and then it's like, dang, I just lost my mark. But with these, it's harder to lose your mark since it's a pen and it's only heat erasable. I am doing great. How are you? Nice to see you alive too. Nice to have you in my comments. Love that. Doing some late night alterations. I was really gonna start on something else, but I feel like that's gonna take a little bit more brain juice than this is. So I said, let me just start with what's easy. That way I'm not pushing all of my things till tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to wait until tomorrow to finish everything because these are really due for Friday. Now this red dress technically isn't. It's really due for like the 7th. She needs it by the 6th basically. But I thought I'm gonna see her on Friday, so I don't want to show up without the dress, you know what I mean? I'm like, let me just have it with me when I see her. Like, she's not gonna say nothing, but for me, it's just like, dang, girl, you could have brought it. You didn't have it done yet? And she has already paid for it and everything, so I'm like, yeah, let me finish before seeing her. Hi, Shanawaz. Did you know that Peter Griffin was in Fortnite? I did not know that. I'm not really a gamer, so yeah, no. I am doing good. How are you? Thank you so much, Corey. I appreciate you. I do wish that this ink would come out a little bit better and smoother than it is, you know? You think my glasses are big? I think they're perfect. I like them a lot. I think out of all glasses I've ever had, these are by far my favorite. In color, shape, all of it. Quality, all of the above. I low-key feel like the way this hem is going doesn't make so much sense. This part is lower and then it gets back higher. almost back to the side seam. My day was pretty good. I started my day pretty relaxed, and then I did some alterations. I did some laundry, and I was recording the alterations instead of doing it on live. And then after I did those alterations, I did a live with the wedding gown that I've been working on. And so I got off that live to go get something to eat real quick, and also to get some more beads from Hobby Lobby, because the beads that I had ordered, they came in today, but they were far smaller than what I thought they would be. Like the picture, of course they zoom in the picture, but normally you can kind of tell what size it would be, and this time I really thought they were gonna be much bigger. And so the size that came in is pretty similar to the one that I got last time, and I like the ones from the last time far better than I do these. Hey Harvey, I love your look, super. Thank you. Hey, how are you? And so I was going to Whole Foods because I needed some cornbread. I love this vegan cornbread that Whole Foods has, and I thought since I'm gonna go get that, you know, I might as well do a return at Whole Foods. So I get, you know, two birds and one stone, and then I got some groceries from there instead of from Kroger. So that all worked out. And then so I went to Hobby Lobby, then Whole Foods, then I got some fries from Chick-fil-A, which is right across from the Whole Foods. And then I got some boba tea, which is my favorite. And I haven't had boba in a minute, so I said, yup. And now I'm going to cut it. And this fabric kind of bunches up as I'm cutting it, but I'm being very careful, that way the cut stays sharp. What about y'all? How was y'all's day? Yes, my day, it was a little bit busy. I got a lot done. Definitely got a lot done. Not enough as much as I wanted to get done. Like there's other things that I wanted to do today. Like I wanted to work on some pants today. I didn't get a chance to do that. But I said, since it's so late, let me just do something that's somewhat easy for me, you know. So I decided to start on this dress instead of doing the pants. And here I'm kind of cutting above my line because it was going so low and it didn't make sense to me how they did it on here. So I kind of free-handed that part. I can be your assistant. I would have loved that. You hiring? Heck yeah, I'm hiring. The sound of scissors against fabric is always my favorite. It's like music to my ears. How was your day, Corey? What did you do? Okay, now this is a good amount of fabric that we have that I can use for this headband right here. So what I'm going to do is basically take off this fabric and use that as a guide, like a pattern really. Let's see. So it's kind of like folded in instead of sewn together. I don't think there's a sew line, is there? Oh yes, it has been sewn. So the center of it, this is basically against the headband that has been sewn together. So I can take it apart and basically trace it and then put it on here. Typically the knot part is glued, so it's kind of like a knot glued in, and then this is placed down. So I'm gonna put this to the side and then we can work on that later. And for now, I'm going to measure 1 inch from the line that we just cut, and that'll be basically where I'm going to fold this fabric at in order to recreate a new hem. Well, not even recreate, just create a new hem. You've been in meetings all day and worked on some systems. That is wonderful. Sounds like you've been productive yourself. Now, if only this pen wants to... if it could only just come out. Like, what in the world? Do I have to go to my traditional chalk? Is that what we gotta do? Okay, it's coming. I think that is much easier on some fabrics than it is on others, because yesterday it was coming out much smoother on the suit I was working with. And I'm kind of doing both sides of the measuring tape. That way we have dots closer to each other, which will be very, very helpful when I am ironing it. Hi Luciano, how are you? I don't know if y'all can really see what I'm doing. Oops. So I'm gonna tilt it down some. Again, I'm just marking where I'm going to iron and fold for the new hem line. brought out the tailor's tape measure. Yes, I did, indeed. Did you make it to the grocery store? Hello, hi. Hi, Lafayette. Every now and then it starts to curl up, so I gotta like smooth it back down. Yeah, it's raining in about to thunderstorm. Oh, in Dallas. Oh no. Well, I hope that you are staying safe inside and nice and warm. The weather has been a little bit better in Georgia. Today was nice and sunny, which I didn't really get to enjoy the sunlight. By the time I looked up, it was like 4 or 5 p.m. going on 5. And it was still sunny, which made me happy. But it was like, dang, I didn't even peep how sunny it was because I was running and in my head all day about what I needed to do, and I was on the phone, and being on the phone takes so much time away from the stuff that I have to do because it's like you don't want to be rude and do this stuff sometimes, and some of it requires me recording or going on live, so you kind of, you know, put that aside to be on the phone. Okay, where is the, oh, I'm over here looking for the top. All right, so let's see here. I'm gonna put this to the side and turn on my iron. Cool, got that. Do you like the rain? It really depends where I'm at. Like in Suriname, oh, you're cracking my knuckles. In Suriname, I love the rain. It's really amazing. It's kind of like tropical rain, you know what I mean? So you kind of like fall asleep in your hammock and it's really beautiful. But in Amsterdam, I hated the rain because it is kind of like that sour smell that you get from it sometimes. Not every single time it rains, but a lot of times. Get kind of like that sour smell, and it's like, ugh, you don't want to go nowhere. And then when you're on the bus, some people bring their dogs, and now it's like wet dog. Oh, and it's like sticky, kind of muggy. Not super sticky though. A lot of times it's not because it's cold and rain, and that makes it even colder. So in Amsterdam, I hated the rain, and it's making you not want to go anywhere and just be inside. But here in Georgia, sometimes you get that rain weather, that tropical rain vibe. So sometimes I like it here, you know? And then here, for some reason, whenever it rains, like, I don't necessarily feel like life really stops. Or at least not all the way, you know? Like in Amsterdam, life doesn't stop. You still gotta do what you gotta do, but you don't really feel like doing anything, right? And here it's like, all right, still go out, still walk to the store if I need to. Um, so I like the rain depending where I am. Now in Suriname, it does get really muddy because most of our roads aren't really like fixed, aren't like asphalt, so it's kind of dirt, and then it's like super duper muddy, and sometimes places, flood a little bit. Like our home typically doesn't flood because when my grandparents built it, they built it like a little bit elevated and stone. Our home wasn't built on like actual dirt, on like a lot of people, or like basically the yard, the front part is all stone, and then the backyard we have like seashells. So my grandfather would always order trucks of seashells. So we had a really nice home growing up, which is still nice. Shanawaz, I am 29. I can't smell the wet dog smell. I know, it's so disgusting. It's like, ugh, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's so gross. I love how cooperative this fabric is, although it's stretchy. Hi, No Ego. How are you? How are ya? Okay, I'm kind of looking at where the seam falls to, and excuse me, guys. I had this boba and it had seeds in it, passion fruit seeds, and I hate it because then in between the boba, the seed will, kind of sneak up on you, and before you know it, you're just chewing the seed, and it's leaving all these little crumbs that sometimes scratch my throat. Hi, that sounds amazing. I'm gonna look up some facts about Suriname later. You should. You should go to YouTube, and there's this white man, he's American, and he did a vlog, and I watched like 15 minutes out of 30 minutes, and he started speaking Dutch a little bit and Surinamese, but he also knows Mandarin, and he was kind of showing the country, showing the things that he was doing, and talking to some people, and I really liked his video because it was interesting. So I'm gonna go back and finish that. So if you find it, definitely, yeah, watch it. Yes, passion fruit is like a melon. It is. I don't know if it's officially in that same family, but the seeds give that same vibe. Except melon seeds, I never really chewed them. But passion fruit seeds, yes, I have been chewing them. So guys, like I should have showed y'all earlier, but this is basically where I folded, and you cannot tell any white. And this is basically the lines, the dots that I've been drawing. And every time the iron goes over it, it literally disappears. So these are like heat erasable markers for fabric. So cool to me. No wedding dress tonight. No, I was doing, you said I'm good, I see I'm late. No, you're not. You're good, you're good. I was doing the wedding dress earlier, and I decided to go out, to run some errands. And I was actually gonna work on it tonight because I got some beads, and I'm like so excited. I want to try these beads out, But tonight, right now, it's Wednesday night, and I need to have these alterations done by Friday. Like this particular dress, not so much. It's not a requirement to have it done by Friday, really before the 6th. However, the person it's for, I'm gonna see her on Friday, and so I don't want to see her and be like, oh yeah, no, I didn't start on your dress just yet. You know what I mean? I'm like, since I'm gonna see her, let me have it, you know? So that's the idea behind it. And I have a different client. She brought 3 pieces to me, which 2 out of the 3 I already finished. I just needed to do alterations to the third pant, the third piece, which is pants. And I feel like it's just gonna require me to think a little bit too much on how am I gonna do it, and it's gonna require a lot of accuracy. So I really want to do that a little bit earlier in the day, which I wanted to do yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, earlier today, but then I started doing other things, and before you know it was nighttime. And so I said, you know what, let's just do something that is a little bit easy for me to do. Not even a little bit. Doing a hem is super easy for me. And so I said, let's just start on that. And then tomorrow, you know, we can do the pants. And maybe I kind of didn't want to go to bed late. Like last night I went to bed at, I was in the bed at 10:30. And I feel like I really fell asleep before 12. I have no idea what time it really was, but it feels like it was before 12. And I really like that because lately I've been falling asleep like around 4 and even later sometimes, which I really hate. Like even if I'm in the bed early, like my mind just won't go to sleep until after 4. And so tonight I didn't want to go past 10. So it depends on how I feel. Maybe, because it's actually already past 10, I'm just realizing that. So either I'll finish this hem and then do the headband, or maybe I'll do the headband tomorrow. I'm not sure. Yeah, making wonderful progress. Yes, I certainly am. Certainly. So that's really the idea. Hi Shanawaz, you said I like your hair. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Thank ya. Okay, so now I gotta fold over for 1 inch, and I'm gonna start back on the opposite end and fold that in half. That way we have a nice 1/2 inch fold over, and this will basically then be a 1/2 inch hem. Okay. And some people kind of fold their hems over on the machine because ironing it, you know, also takes time, and so they kind of do it at the machine. I don't like to do that because, for one, once you fold it over first, you're creating these creases, and that helps to keep the fabric flat and in place. So instead of just going, you know, little by little on the machine, this will make me kind of do a straight shot on the machine. So yes, I'm spending a little bit more time getting it, you know, perfectly laid up in place. But in the end, it helps me much more because I hate it when you're going on a machine and then all of a sudden the hem starts curling and doing its own thing. And now it's kind of like, it doesn't look as clean to me as when I first press it in place. So this allows a little bit more precision and a little bit more sharpness. you know. Most people kind of like press it afterwards basically to smooth it out, but I feel like if you pre-press it, then sew it. I typically come back and press it again to make it extra flat, but sometimes it's not even required. Like I still do it, but most of the time it's not even required because it's just so smooth already by itself. Oh yeah, I forgot. I did a workout today too. I've been doing Pilates from home. And I think today has been like day 5 or something. And it's going so well. And I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit, you know, looser and better and stuff. And I'm like, look at me. Being active and whatnot in between working. How do you avoid getting the dark marks on clothes when ironing? So I hate those marks. Sometimes it just happens regardless, but a way to avoid it is making sure your iron is not too hot, because low-key that is a form of like scorching your fabric. So what you do is you spray the water, you know, like you have these 2 buttons, right? This one is like the water spray. I don't know if you could, can y'all tell this? Okay, hold on. So one of them is, that one is the steam, and then this one is the water. So spray the water first, and then make sure that the steam is on. So like you can actually manually press this and it will steam. But here you also have this setting. This is no steam and that is steam. So make sure it's always like either in the middle or all the way to the steam. The steam is gonna help it not scorch, because it's basically like very tiny, very small particles of water, right? So it's basically dampening your cloth, because straight heat is what's scorching it. And once you have steam, your fabric is damp. And the same thing with the water, it actually makes it visibly wet, right? Sorry, I'm over here spinning. But that visible, you know, water drop sensation is very much helpful. And if you have a fabric like black is very hard. Like sometimes even when you have the water drops and the steam on it, it will still kind of do that scorching thing, and it makes it look shiny instead of black. So what you can do is take a different piece of fabric, maybe like a cotton fabric, right? It could be like an old pillowcase or something, and you then, like, let's say this is the same material. So what you can do is wet this first, like under the sink, and then you squeeze all the water out and now it's damp. Then you lay it on top and then you iron. Or you spray with your iron the fabric first, then you put the other fabric over it, then you spray that again, and then you iron. So those are my tips. Somebody says you've mastered the ironing. Yes, I have. I've been tailoring for over 3 years now. And when you work with other people's stuff, you gotta be extremely careful, because baby, I'm not trying to replace nothing. I'm not trying to pay for nothing. Instead, I want you to pay me. You feel me? So when it comes to other people's stuff, I'm like, how am I gonna do this without damaging their fabric? You know what I mean? Like my own stuff, look, if it happens, it happens. But those are my tips. And also, if you have a steamer, I would definitely recommend steaming clothes over ironing. Now, some things you have to iron, like let's say you're making the crease on your pants. you gotta do that. However, now some steamers actually come with an extra headpiece that you clip on, and that is basically, now when you have the crease, the fold over from the pants, you kind of steam it in a way to where that clip kind of keeps it in place as it's steaming. So if you don't have a steamer, you can easily find one for like $20 or so from Amazon and Walmart. So steamers don't have to be super expensive. Like the cheaper ones still get the job done. So if you can steam clothes, I would highly recommend it, because the steam is better for your clothes than the actual iron. Like it's so much easier to scorch your clothes, right? But one thing to take note of when you're steaming clothes, make sure that it is not wool, okay? Because wool will shrink due to the heat. You said you're taking notes. Okay, great. I never thought of ironing over another fabric. Yeah, that's something that I learned from my mom, but also from fashion school. All right, guys, so now I have a half an inch fold, right? And I'm going to fold that back into the original crease we had before, which it's kind of already laying flat, but I am wanting it to be super, super clean. So I'm going to press that again. And press is really like folding it over, and like pressing the iron, or some people do like pressing it with in school we did a piece of wood. So you have this long piece of wood, you iron, you fold it over, you make your crease, and then you press it, and then basically it'll stay just like that forever. So that's what I'm doing. Definitely let me know if you ever try like the fabric over the piece that you're ironing, and let me know how that goes, and if you like it or did you find it annoying. And also another tip is simply don't hold your iron in place too long. Sometimes, you know, you're thinking like, oh, these creases need to come out, so you're just like really holding it, and then you move over to another piece, and that's also what's scorching your fabric or creating those dark marks or the shiny marks on darker fabric. So simply just don't hold it in too long. It's better to just briefly touch it, spray some more, briefly touch it, spray some more, and, you know, moving on until the wrinkles are gone. I hope all of those tips help. Like, you see how I'm just like touching, moving on. If your iron is hot enough for the fabric, that works. Now see how it's already like laying in place. You have a lot of tricks up your sleeves. Yes, sir. It comes from all my years of experience and like learning on my own. You know what I mean? Like half of these things that I just told y'all to do, I didn't really learn in school, you know? Most of it is really from like practicing and seeing what fabric does, and like I love textiles, so I just kind of take mental notes and study my fabrics as I'm working with them. Like seeing how they react and what they do. By the way, Lafayette, thank you for all the hearts. That was so sweet and cute. I'm not sure if you're still in here. But yeah, testing, and some of them I learned on internships from, you know, other seamstresses. Kind of like how they do it with the, mainly the ones with the fabric, where they're like, here, take a damp cloth over this. But again, like, that was really repetition because I had already learned that from my mom. The basting, well, not the basting, the pressing, I learned from school, where you iron something and then you press it with a piece of wood to keep it in place. Not even from school, I learned that at school. Oh no, my battery's at 6%. So let me, got my charger right here. Ooh, sorry guys. Okay, cool. I did not want y'all to, you know, lose me. I saw this trick one time, I believe it was on Instagram years ago, and I haven't tried it, but you know when your iron has like all these dark marks, mine has some too right now. I saw where they had like a sheet. Ooh, almost knocked this over. They had a sheet and then they threw like a whole bunch of salt on there, and then they just kind of like swirled it around. It wasn't on. I don't think it was on. Excuse me. And then they just swirled it around, and that basically took off all the marks. Like I said, I haven't tried that one yet. And then we are at the very last piece. And like, don't be afraid to really get your fabric wet. Like, I get it, sometimes you're getting ready to wear it and you don't want it to be damp on your skin. But really, before you know it, it'll also dry up, you know? Yes, I am gonna stitch this on camera. So I'm gonna go grab some thread first. Let me see. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna move y'all over some. So my kit is right here. And I believe this is the same thread I used yesterday. Let me actually match it up for y'all. So it is really the same. Like, I got, can y'all see that? Where is it? It's right there. So it's pretty much the same. I'm going to use this thread, so I'm putting it over. Oops, I knocked some more stuff down. Bear with me, y'all. I'm going to position my camera in a way to where y'all can see me. Ooh, I got both of my stands stuck in each other. Going to put this right here. Uh-oh. Sorry, you guys. Bear with me. I am coming, guys. Okay, here I am. Oops. Do you ever clear your room? Yes, I do, but guess what? I'm always working, so I always make a mess right after I cleaned it up, okay? This is my sewing area. This is the only messy area in my home, for real. I mean, in my closet too, because I just got so many clothes and so much stuff. But yes, I literally had just cleaned this a couple weeks ago, and it's back messy. That just happens, sewing area. That's the hardest area to keep clean, because I start on something, get clients, then start back on something else, and it's a cycle. But one day I will really clean it and it will stay clean, okay? One day I'll have a actual sewing room, because right now this is just the area in my living room. But what it tells me is that it's a measure of success. You know what I mean? It's a measure of success where it's like, you know, so busy that it just cannot stay organized. I mean, it's still organized. Like, no matter how messy it is, like, I could tell you exactly what is where. Oh, let me turn on my light first of all. And I typically like to clip it at an angle, and that way it'll go in through the needle eye smoother. My bobbin is already threaded because yesterday I actually did a red suit in the same red. And I am going to fold it back in. For the first one, I'm going to put a needle in, a pin I mean, not a needle, a pin. Just like that, to keep it in place. Because all that moving I just did kind of threw it off. And at the side seam exactly, I'm putting another pin because I want the side seam to really be lined up with the fold. Like, I want it exactly in the same spot. That way it just looks cleaner and it's not shifting. Because I just don't want it to shift, because then it might not come out exactly at the other end where it needs to come out at, which is annoying. And this way it also just looks much more clean and how it was before. You know, like, my goal is always to have it exactly how it was or better, and the goal is always to go for better, right? Like, better than what it was before. I feel like you guys are a little bit too high, but sorry guys, because this is like a twist. What do you call that? Stand. I twist it to basically pull it up or down. And again, I am repositioning, making sure that everything is exactly where I pressed it at. Most fabrics would have stayed no matter how much you move, but this one did not, which is also okay. I normally use my satin pins, but these are longer, and so for the bulkier parts, I like it when the needle is longer because that way it sticks out of it and it's not like really in there. Because then when I sew over them, it doesn't like get stuck or have my machine act up. Because I like to stitch over my needles. That way, you know, you don't have to stop and move and all of that good stuff. I'm gonna move y'all over just a little bit more so you can see my machine. And I line up my foot. This is the inside of my foot. You guys can't really see that. Let me see. Can you see this? Maybe not. Basically the inside of the foot right there. This is the entire foot, but the inside of it, I line that up with the fold so that we are pretty close to that fold. That way it looks clean, but it's also not too big of a hem and all of that. And I'm gonna go back stitch, which this fabric is kind of not walking with it, so I'm gonna just twist and lift up the foot and twist backwards. And then I'm gonna get my seam ripper, or actually better yet, I got my owl, this, and I am going to go under the foot and kind of use that as a tool to push the fabric while I'm sewing. Because this fabric is more likely, hold on, to get stuck in there at the beginning. So the owl is kind of preventing that until it picks up. And then we can just, I'm gonna do number 3 on here. So the beginning was a little bit rough, but we got through because it's just too stretchy. And every now and then it's kind of curving, and so I'll kind of curve with it. And no, backstitching is not a lot of times. Typically this is my backstitch button, so you stitch just a tiny bit, backstitch, and then come back all the way down, because backstitching will actually prevent the thread from coming apart like over time. It's basically like securing it, like a double tape to secure it. And now here we have a little bit of bulk, so I'm gonna use my awl. And like I pulled the thread from the back, but I don't want to pull it too much because we don't want it to start curling. So I lightly pull and push at the same time with the owl. And this time I'm gonna remove my pin because I have the owl right there. Okay, perfect. And with this hand, my left hand, I'm kind of guiding the fabric, as well as in my right hand, really. I kind of like to tuck it between my fingers because it feels like it gives me more control over where I want the fabric to go. And with this other hand, I'm just kind of lightly pulling it whenever it needs to be pulled. But I don't typically pull it too much because I don't want it to stretch from one. And also, if you pull it too much, the stitches are not as controlled. And here again, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm removing this because I don't want it to do some pushback. And really, you can carefully sew over the tip of the awl or be extremely close to the needle. Basically, the awl does things that my fingers couldn't do for safety purposes, but also because my fingers can't go underneath. I mean, if you do it, it will, but you know, my fingers can't really go underneath the foot. And this is why I pressed it first, because I can just move it and it's back in place. Some people kind of fold it as they're sewing, and like I said before, I don't like that because then it starts to curl and it's not even and all of that. I'm just gonna check on it and see. This is the right side, this is the wrong side. I don't think y'all can really tell, but can y'all tell? It looks great to me. Clean. You make the alterations look easy, thank you. It really isn't hard though. If you know what you're doing, it's not hard. I feel like anybody who takes the time to learn it could do it. All it requires is a little bit of patience on how fabrics work, which you will learn over time, and knowing that you always work on the wrong side unless you're doing like a French stitch, like a French seam. You know, like, yeah, knowing that you're doing everything from the wrong side of the fabric, like little stuff like that, you know, and you got it. I think the key for sewing is being patient. That's the key. If you can be patient with it, oh yeah, you got it. Awesome, thank you. Terrific work. Thank you, thank you. we're coming up on the last bit. And typically, when you have all that bulk and you're coming this way, it's gonna be smoother. So I'm gonna go a little bit slower because we're gonna backstitch at the end as well, and I have my awl to kind of pull it back towards me. And I'm gonna start backstitching now so that if I wait all the way to the end and I start backstitching, then sometimes the fabric can kind of go in between the pleats and get stuck. So I try to, when it's fabrics like this, cotton fabrics and thicker, stiffer fabrics that are non-stretchy won't really do that. So with them, I typically wait till I go all the way to the end. But this one, I'm gonna kind of not do it and just kind of go back and forth a little bit. That's my trick for this material. Okay, boom, and we got it. I could do that. I watched my grandma doing it as a child. Yeah, honestly, when you watch your grandparents or somebody else as a child, like unknowingly, it sticks with you. Like half of the stuff that I do now, I really watched my mom do it when I was a child. And now I'm like, oh, this is what my mom was doing. Like, okay, this makes sense now, you know? So now, this is what it looks like. I'm going to press it, like some of the parts, you know, curl up a little bit, but when you press it, that will smooth away. Have you ever been to Paramaribo? That's where I was born. I was born and raised in Paramaribo. And this is my boba from Share Tea that I got earlier. So good. This is I got a piece of I got a seed. What you call that seed? Passion fruit seed. This is mango passion fruit with boba pearls, tapioca pearls. No ice. I don't like ice in my drinks because for one, it waters it down because I'm a very slow drinker. So by the time I am not even halfway through, ice is already melted. Two, I don't trust ice machines to be super clean. And I saw this video how mold is growing in these ice machines and you can literally get sick from that. Gross. And then three, I mean, sometimes biting ice hurts my teeth, especially my front teeth. So that's another reason. Yeah, those are my top 3 reasons for not getting ice in my drink. That looks tasty. Next time you should tell them. Hold the seed. I didn't know you could tell them that. I thought the seed was already in the passion fruit mixture. You're putting me onto something. I'm gonna tell them. Do not add the seeds to my drink. No, I'm just kidding. Yay! We got some done today. I am proud of us, and I say us because we did it together. We did it together. So, the part that I'm like, it's requiring brain juice, is the part that we need to do the slit from. So, there's stitching up here all the way around. So what I was thinking is to undo those stitches up to this part where the pin is at, right? So undo those stitches, then where the pin ends, stitch again across. So first I don't know if first I'm gonna undo the stitches, because I don't even know if undoing the stitches makes sense all the way just yet. In my brain it does make sense. Okay, so right now I'm talking y'all through so that I can understand it myself. That's what I do with myself. I typically talk a lot to myself like this. Girl, this is what you do. First of all, you take out these stitches all the way around up to the pin. Then that will basically clean up the area around the part that you want to close up, right? So once that part is clean, you then continue this stitch, which is the seam stitch, all the way up to where the pin is, because that's where you want it to end. And you don't have to take the stitches out first. You can actually mark where the pin stops, sew all the way down to that part, then keep that seam open because the seam is open, so you iron that flat, and then clean out the border, and we can then do a straight stitch if needed. Yeah, so we can do a little U on there because that's what this does. It does a U and then it turns, and that way once it's flat and open, it stays flat and open because you have done that little U. Boom. Y'all got it? Hi. I hope y'all got it because I did. I talked myself through it like I always do because now it makes sense. Because I needed to make sense in my head so that it makes sense in general. But no, we do need to open up that because it did stitch down the seam in a quarter. And if we undo this stitch, it's basically going to allow us to open up that seam because then it's going to look much cleaner. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is grab my pen and mark where we want it to stop the new seam. Basically where we want the new opening to stop. And that would be right here. Come on, pen, work with me. So step 1, mark where we want the seam to stop. Okay, we got our mark. Now step 2 is remove it. If you ever taught a class, you'd be sitting in front of the class raising my hand. You'd be sitting, okay, so I'd be sitting in front of the class raising my hand to answer all the questions. Yes, I would love that. Answer all the questions. The pin kind of got stuck in there. All right, so now I'm going to do a double take on this mark because I don't feel like it's clear enough. All right, that's better. And right here. Okay. So now we got that done, and I am going to remove the stitches a little bit above that mark. Ooh, this baby's getting dull. All right, and it's an easy pull, so we're just pulling it out. And then I'm gonna cut it, and then we can just have a trash can right here, so we can just toss the pieces in there. Y'all see why I be going to bed so late? It's already almost 11 p.m. 11 p.m. Wednesday, 12 Celsius degrees. How much is your bag? It's expensive. What bag are you referring to? And this is basically the U I was talking about. It comes up and then it goes across where the slit ends. Excuse me. This is so tight. Let's see if we can pull it. No, not yet. I gotta get in there. Cool. Can you see my glasses? Why? Why you wanna see them? It's big and good. Hold up, wait a minute. Oh, okay. I was like, did I go past my markers? I was in the zone and I was just going. No, we are right at the mark. Okay, so as you guys can see now, the seam that was folded over is now all open. Like this was folded over like that, and we opened it to make it flat. No, I don't have kids yet. And the opposite side of the thread, I'm going to snip, snip, snip. So now I am going to pin those two seams that we just opened up together so that we can extend the slit exactly where it was to where the pin is or was at some point. And we can follow that mark perfectly. I'm thinking on if I should go a little bit lower. Yeah, a slight bit. I'm just pulling it because it can be pulled without like making a new cut and stuff. So I'm putting my pin exactly where that mark is from my pen. So now that we got this mark, let's see, where's the, okay, right here. So I'm gonna go exactly above where the pin is so that we have, we're going over the stitches that are already there to kind of secure them in place. And I'm gonna, oops, slightly turn you guys around a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna put my pin down, my needle down to make sure that it is, yeah, okay. Just to make sure that it's exactly in the same stitches. And my stitch length right now is at 3. And I'm pulling it to make sure that we can go all the way down in that crease, and I'm gonna back stitch and come back down. And now we have done it. So I'm gonna snip to clean that up. Snip the thread. Oops. Okay. And now we basically close that slit up, right? So this is what it looks like now. And unfortunately the punctures from the previous stitches we removed are in there, but washing the fabric will take it out. Sometimes the heat kind of does it too when you iron over it. So hopefully when we iron this open, right, this is the new seam that we just created, and it's kind of like together, but when we iron it open, hopefully that will also do something. You're the goat. Thank you. Be careful, baby. I am careful. Thank you. So now this is the stitch that is there for the remainder of the slit. So what I'm going to do is stitch across. Should we I am thinking, because I do feel like I'm a millimeter too far in, which is okay. When I iron it, we can iron that open. Because then there's some thread. Let me pull that out. Because I want it to be perfect, like exactly next to each other, which it is near, not exactly next. So can be fixed when we iron it. So basically now I want to go across this to make sure that, you know, it looks exactly like how it was before. But let's see, should I iron it open like that and then sew it, or should I'm thinking what's best. You know what, I want to redo it because I want it to be exactly like how it was before, and it's not exactly. So what I'm going to do is not all the way up. I got some, I feel like I got some lint. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Just a little bit above, I'm going to start and back stitch, and then I'm going to come in closer to be exactly in the crease. So it's literally like how it was before. Let's see. Okay, and then I'm gonna back stitch to make sure that we lock in those stitches. Okay, now that we have that, I'm gonna snip and clean up the top part. Okay, clean up, and I'm gonna clean up here too. All right, so the old stitches I'm going to get rid of because we now have the new ones in place of it. And clean up and get rid of the end as well. Let's see, can we pull out some more? This really was not necessary, guys. I'm just being a perfectionist right now. Let's see. I'm gonna snip them from the other side. Okay. I see why I went up that far, because the pin that she had in it kind of punctured the fabric a little bit too much since it got stuck in there. And I think I was kind of trying to hide that, but it's okay. If it creates a hole, she can always bring it back to me, and then, you know, we can then fix it. And now I'm pulling through excess thread from the previous stitches. Okay, I'm not sure if this is excess thread or if it's the fabric punctured. I don't know, I'm gonna leave it alone because we're gonna stitch over that piece anyway. Now it's even more, it's really like how it was before, like it's so equal now. And then I'm gonna go over these stitches up there, then across, then come back down, so we really recreate the same thing that was already there before. The same U-turn thing. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna put a pin because we haven't even pressed it just yet. Down here, to just make sure that once we make that turn, the fabric really stays nice and flat in place and it doesn't turn with it. That way it won't bulk up in between. We don't want to bulk. And I'm doing my longer pins so that the pin doesn't end up being in the way when we're turning. And if I need to remove it, it's long enough for me to really like, actually I need to go horizontally because then I can actually sew over the pin that way. Okay. And I'm gonna do one here too. I'm gonna do a shorter one in here because that should be okay. That shouldn't be in the way. All right, let me adjust this pin a little bit. All right, now let's go. I'm going over it and I'm starting down some a little bit. That way we can reinforce the original stitches some, because we actually snipped the original stitches, so we don't want anything to happen with them and them to, you know, kind of lose their position and, you know, all that good stuff. So I'm going over and then going backwards to really reinforce and continue. I should have done these a little bit tighter than 3, but we're already in there, so we're gonna just continue. And now I'm gonna turn the fabric towards me to make that top of the U, and making sure there's nothing underneath it. And I'm really holding tight. Okay, and then turning the fabric the opposite direction, so the slit part is kind of facing me, and I'm removing the needle from the first part that we just did, that way it's not in the way when I'm sewing. And then I'm going straight down, and now we are on top of the original stitches, and I'm going down some more and backwards and back down. And that's it. After watching, learning from you, I think I'm gonna order a sewing machine. Yes, I am here for it. That would be dope. You should. Okay, and I am cutting down some of the original stitches, as well as the thread from the new stitches, and then cleaning up the other side. Cleaning up some more. Okay, and just like that, we have a new U on this. You guys can't really see it, but I like it. I just hate that the punctures are still on here from the original stitches, guys. But hopefully, like I said, ironing will take them away. And I see some thread, so I'm gonna cut that off. Let me see from the inside. Pulling it from the inside to make sure, and cleaning up. All right. Okay, cool. That is done, and then these marks are heat erasable, so as soon as I iron them, you know, they should come out. So really, that's all that we needed to do on this dress. It's done. Like, I literally just did the hem, closed up the slit. That's all we needed to do, and I'm so happy that I got that done. So now the idea is to do a headband for her. She loves headbands, right? And so this last summer, I did 2 dresses for her where I shortened them, and one of them she actually wanted me to create a headband, and so I came up with, you know, that whole headband piece, and I did a knot for her. And then the second dress, that one was the polka dot green polka dot dress, just in case you guys want to go back to the videos. And then I'm not sure, did I even post that? I need to go check. But it was another fabric. It was kind of like a teal fabric with this different print on it. And for that one, I did a headband that instead of having a knot, I just did it where you kind of like keep wrapping it around so it has like a whole texture. That one was a surprise. She loved it. Then I feel like I did another one. Yes, I did. And that one was scrunched up. It was a whole bunch of different colors, excuse me, next to each other. So we did like a scrunch design. I'm not sure if I posted that one as well. I feel like I did, but I'm not sure. And so since she loves headbands, it has a whole collection. I'm thinking about doing something for this dress as well. I'm not sure that she is gonna wear it because this is for a specific event. Her daughter's 20th wedding anniversary. So I don't know what she's thinking of doing with her hair and what she's gonna wear, but I'm sure she's not gonna wear this dress just one time and then put it to the side. So just in case she wants to wear it another time, she can then wear the headband. So she's not obligated to do it this time, but definitely have it for the next time. So I'm thinking of doing that tomorrow. Tomorrow. There'll always be tomorrow. Hi, bestie. Hi. So, yeah. Of course I missed you. Let me show y'all. What did I do with it? One second, you guys. This is the headband. Now let's not worry. But I do hope that you're doing well. So I am trying to take off. That's one thing I need to get. I need to get this type of black ribbon, especially like I have it in white, but I think I don't have any black one. And this one kind of looks like it's slightly damaged. I don't know, but I'm trying to carefully peel it off here. Oh, I love you, Tom. Mean it. Trying to peel it off from here. It's hot glued. And okay, we got it. So now that we got that off, I'm going to put it to the side. Like, it doesn't look super good, so I may or may not use it. I'm not sure yet. I might just go with the white one, but I typically like the black one because since her hair is black and it's back there, you know, it's not super visible. So I'm doing the exact same thing. Like the white one, you'll see the white end, you feel me? And this is kind of like a little bit more incognito. So I'm putting that to the side. And let's see if we can peel it off. Yes, we can. So I'm peeling it off of the inside of the headband as well, talking about the glue. And like that. So that's what it looks like, right? Gonna continue peeling. Okay, now this part right here is kind of clean, and then here we have some glue, and again I'm peeling that glue off as well. Doing the same thing for the opposite side. Peel off glue. Here we have now, I don't know if I'm being off camera sometimes. I do so good at being off camera. All right, now we have a knot. Going to undo the knot. And sometimes at the bottom it's glued, but this time it was only like literally glued in these areas right here. And then now we have this piece, and it was kind of sewn in a tube form. Let's see. And now this is basically our pattern. And actually, what I'm gonna do, last time I kind of winged it a little bit, and that made it a little bit difficult for no reason. So what I'm doing now is undoing the stitches so that we can lay it flat and open. And then instead of like drawing a pattern, this will literally be the pattern. All right, I hope that makes sense. So I can actually literally pin this to the fabric, and once it's pinned, I can cut it straight from the fabric. So once it's cut from the fabric, then we can sew the fabric closed, just like how this was closed, and I'm undoing it. And then we can just hot glue it on the headband. And then just like that, we got a new headband. Okay, we're at the end, and there's a lot more glue at the end on this side, so I'm just gonna cut that off. That's just straight glue, it's not fabric in between. And I'm trying to just pull this apart as much as possible, and it's kind of like triple folded in a way. So this was sewn, and we have a fold, and that makes sense because the end is kind of narrow. Ooh, I'm just pulling it apart. What in the world? Okay. Yup. Okay, because the way I had done it, I made it a little bit narrow at the end, but this is also super thin fabric, so you can kind of get away with how they did it. Let's see. This glue kind of sticks these pieces together, keeps them together. I just pulled them apart, and so I'm gonna do the same thing I did on the opposite end for this side. And peeling off. Alright, so it's really just a straight piece of fabric. Like when I did it, I kind of did it wide in the middle and just narrowed it down some. Because it was so thick and bulky. And this fabric is thin. It's pretty thin. But it's definitely not as thin as this. This is really like, what is this fabric? Sure. What's the name of this? I can't think right now about it. Okay, so basically this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna make it a slight bit longer because this fabric is much thicker, so that when I tie my knot in the center part, you know, the knot can be nice and thick, without making it feel like it got shorter. So that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm going to steam the dress, wrap it up in, what is it, a garment bag, and then do the same thing for the jacket that I tailored today or altered. And then we're gonna work on the headband and work on the pants. And then tomorrow's Thursday, so I gotta do all of that tomorrow. Must. And then I can have them all to my clients on Friday. Wish me luck. With that being said, I'm gonna call it a night because I am very sleepy right now. I could definitely use some rest. Gonna take my belt off. Well, I enjoyed the life as always. Yes, I'm so glad you did because I did too, as always. It's literally, I don't know, I keep saying it, but it is always fun. Get some rest. It will be much needed. Definitely. Thank you. I hope you do the same. I went to bed, I think I told you earlier, before 12 last night. Now this night, it's not gonna happen because it's already 11:20. I need to finish this and then gonna go shower. But hopefully I'm in the bed by 11:15. I mean 12:15. Hopefully sleep by 1. Before 1. Alright, you guys. I don't know why I've been cracking my knuckles today. Yes, as always, I enjoy this live. I love it when you guys come on here and, you know, chat with me. It was great. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I'm praying that I'll be here finishing the headband on live for 1, and 2, bead the dress. So I'm gonna do the pants first, then the headband, then bead the dress, hopefully in that order. Alright, you guys. Love y'all. See you tomorrow. Bye.